enhance, enhance, enhance.
Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. So a friend of mine sent me this LA Times article that I'm chuckling about now that I just read, and it goes like this. Sienna Rose has achieved a level of breakout stardom envied by musicians everywhere. Over the last 4 months, she's developed a fan base of more than 4 million monthly Spotify listeners. That's impressive. Her star has risen in tandem with that of Olivia Dean, a fellow neo-soul vocalist who took home this year's Grammy for Best New Artist. Rose's Spotify biography extols her as not just a performer, but a storyteller at heart, singing every word with a sense of truth and beauty. But Rose didn't attend the Grammys earlier this month because she's neither a neo-soul artist nor the possessor of a soul to begin with. She is AI, top to bottom, an algorithmic interpretation of real artists in a genre it was built to exploit and ultimately replace. It goes on to say, AI-generated songs now make up nearly 40% of music uploaded to streaming services daily. These songs are becoming more impressive by the day, too. In one study, only 3% of respondents could reliably distinguish between AI-generated and human-generated music. As of late January, 6 of Spotify's top 50 trending songs in the US were fully AI-generated. Okay, so what does Sienna Rose actually sound like? I'll play a little bit of her song, Into the Blue.
Bum.
Okay, you get the idea. So anytime I hear that something is possibly AI, I click on their Instagram to see what's going on there. So I click on the link provided here in Spotify, and it brings me to this page, Sienna Rose, who has 35 posts and 6,971 followers. That's not very many followers for someone with about 4 million monthly listeners. Should be way more than that. So as a point of comparison, let's look at another artist that's in the same style, like a kind of neo-soul. This is Victoria Monet. She has 3.7 million monthly listeners. Here's one of her songs. On My Mama. Now, unlike Sienna Rose, this song has 192 million plays. She also has a song called Monopoly that's got 202 million plays. That's the amount of plays you would expect for someone that has 4 million monthly listeners. And if you go to her Instagram, she has 2.1 million followers there, which is what you would expect with a real human being. If we go back to Sienna Rose's Instagram and you click these 3 buttons to see about her account, it says date joined 2022, account based in Norway. Well, if you hear her talk, I'm not saying anything, but if you watch this video.
So I keep seeing these comments everywhere. She's AI. Well, I feel real. And I hope the 3 million people listening feel the same.
Okay, so what's the deal? Why is Spotify pushing this crap? I mean, is it possible that she's a real artist? I guess it's possible that she only has 11 million plays of her biggest song on here and that she has 4 million monthly listeners, and these other people that have 4 million monthly listeners have songs with hundreds of millions of plays. That's possible. It's possible that she has 6,900 Instagram followers when someone that has the same amount of monthly listeners on Spotify has 2 million. It's possible that her videos are real and that she's a real person that lives in Norway. It's possible that Norway has magical disappearing door frames. And it's possible that Deezer accidentally labeled it as AI, but it's real. But it's not likely.
Okay, so I think what Rick is showing here isn't exactly what he thinks he's seeing. What he's seeing is basically it's a much more nefarious thing that he's pointing to, and it's actually kind of funny because so here's the thing. I can go look at any artist's page too, right? Like I could go pull up a page right now and we could go look at how many subscribers they have. Well, when you're looking at analytics, subscribers don't mean anything. Like you can have a billion subscribers, but if your engagement is 0 and your watch time is 0, then it's still a zero. At the end of the day, nobody's looking at your content, nobody's engaging with your content, nobody's participating with the content that you're making. So obviously, like if it's a zero, you're not going to get paid for it, right? Like if I upload a video that gets completely zero engagement, no watch time, no nothing, right? YouTube is not going to pay me a penny. YouTube doesn't pay me anything. As it is right now, I'm already not getting paid anything. So like I'm already over the subscriber threshold for getting paid, but like I said, when it comes to engagement, yada yada yada, there's other rules in place that are like, well, hey, like if you don't have 4,000 watch hours, well, we're not going to pay you. You're not bringing in enough ad revenue for us to justify cutting you a check. You see what I'm saying? And I don't, as much as I don't agree with that, I think that's unfair. But as much as I disagree with that, that's still the rule, right? That's the rule for YouTube, right? So, like if you want to get paid, you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time. Um, and this is the funniest thing. Like you'll see in the video, uh, Rick is pointing out these like professional artists, and well, this person has 2 million views. Okay, um, like cool. Obviously, the Sienna Rose person is fake. Like obviously, it's AI or whatever. Um, but when you look at major artists, a lot of the engagement, a lot of the subscriptions, a lot of everything that you're seeing, this is all stuff that's being done by the record companies that they're under to basically create fake engagement, and it's basically using groupthink mentality, and it's saying, well, you want to be one of the cool kids, right? So you want to be a part of the whatever, 10 million subscribers for Nicki Minaj or whatever, right? Like that's what they're pulling you in with. They're pulling you in as a subscriber to whoever the hell it is that you're subscribing to, because you see how many people are already subscribed to them. So you go, oh, well, if all these other people are following him, I have to follow him too. So then obviously, like, you're paying attention to uh, whenever a new song drops, whenever this and that happens, whatever, right? So that's the problem. Um, Now, what's funny is uh, what Rick is talking about is essentially impossible, right? Like like if you want to force everybody that uses some form of AI to have to say, well, your song has been touched by AI, so now you have to mark it as such, and then that way now all of the haters, all of the people that hate AI, hate everything that has to do with AI, they don't want to see a single AI thing ever on their timeline, right? All of those people can go and click a button now and make it to where none of that stuff shows up in their timeline or whatever, right? Well, that's cool, that's fine, but here's the problem with that. When it comes down to AI, most mixing companies, like most companies today that like mix and they produce, they have sound samples, they have EQing, they have all of these things. Even when it comes down to like if you really want to get in the weeds about it, uh, Dolby Atmos, right? Like if you want your song to be in Dolby Atmos format and quality, most of the people that you're going to run that through have some sort of an AI program that takes the audio and automatically like kind of uh, adjusts the spatial width to the sound as it goes through the speakers. So what he's asking for is honestly impossible, because if you did that and you forced that check mark, well, guess what? Every song that's ever been published by Taylor Swift, Nicki Minaj, etc., 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 all of those songs are now going to get pulled because they have some AI element in there where the AI has manipulated the sound to some degree, right? So that's what you're going to get. And these artists, these multi-million dollar artists, they know that. So they don't want to participate in that, because they know if they do, then what's going to end up happening is their fandom is going to come in. They're going to see, oh, you guys have been doing AI music and you're just as guilty as all these other people that have been uploading quote unquote AI slop for however long. And once that gets exposed, uh, you know, then you're really going to see an even further exposure on their follower counts and all this stuff. You're going to see, you'll see exactly what I've been telling you from the very beginning. If this were to happen, if this hypothetical scenario played out, you're going to see exactly what I just told you. You're going to see a ton of people unsubscribe from these creators, these music creators, and then what you're going to see is you're going to see there's like a solid number of like, if they have like 10 million subscribers, there's going to be like 2 million subscribers that don't unsubscribe. And the reason they don't is because they're bot accounts. So those 2 million subscribers that you're going to see that won't disappear, that's a bot service that is being paid to fluff up their numbers to make them look important, so you'll subscribe to them. This is something that happens, like I said, it happens in every space, right? So, and you can tell this just by engagement numbers alone, right? Like, if you go and you look at like any one of these people, right? You go look at Taylor Swift's social media, right? And you see Taylor Swift post something, and she's got a bajillion subscribers, and then she only gets like 100 comments. Well, that's really telling, right? Like, because now you have to look at that ratio, and you look at that ratio and you're like, well, why the hell is she only getting 100 comments and, maybe a few thousand likes, when she's got a bajillion subscribers? Which doesn't make any sense. Well, obviously, it doesn't make any sense, because what you're looking at are fluffed up, made up numbers that are being provided by the record label she works for. And I guarantee you, they do the same thing. They subsidize all of their members with the same uh, botting services, and they probably do it in chunks. I guarantee you, if you go look at their metrics, you're going to see jumps probably like in solid numbers, like 60,000, 80,000, 100,000. You're going to see solid number chunks that are not real numbers, and they will be added to their subscriber count. Like, go find like a social what's that Social Blade website or whatever. Go look up their metrics, and you're gonna see, like, whenever you look at a graph and you see giant blocks on the graph where it's like this person got 30,000 subscribers, and then the next month they got another 30,000 subscribers. That 30,000 additional subscribers, most of that is probably bot traffic. And sprinkled into that bot traffic is going to be like, maybe a few hundred actual like organic followers that are coming in and subscribing. And the reason they're subscribing is because they're seeing the 30,000 in bot traffic subscribing to that channel. So that's basically how this entire thing is working out. And it's funny, because there's a lot of people that believe in the dead internet theory, and it's not that the internet's dead, but it has been significantly reduced because a lot of people have picked up on the game already. They already know that most of the engagement, most of this stuff that they're looking at is fake. And because it's fake, what's the point of looking at it, right? Like, what's the point of wasting your time with fake things? So, but that's, Rick's position on this, on AI music, is in my opinion, it's absurd, right? If you listen to a song and you really like it, in my mind, it doesn't make a difference if it's AI or not, right? Because you're the consumer, you're the person that's consuming the product. Now, if you enjoy the product, enjoy the product. But what I'm saying is that um, I don't think it's smart to sit there and tell people what they should and shouldn't like because, something may or may not be AI or whatever, right? For instance, with me, I started off with AI, making AI music, making AI tracks, and then I would EQ them and then try to um, make the track sound better and like less grainy and less shitty because this was like at the very very beginning of locally installed AI music. And basically what you would do is you would create a prompt for a song, write in your lyrics, write in everything that you wanted to write in for the song. Sometimes you could get away with not putting in lyrics, but for the most part, you have to put lyrics in because you have to provide like a cadence structure to your locally installed AI music. So whenever it's going to create a track, it needs something to build cadence off of. So you need lyrics, otherwise it's going to sound like trash, right? So when you do that, basically what's happening is you're creating a track, and then when it creates the track, it has to create it in layers. So it creates a vocal layer, it creates a bass layer, it creates your mid layer, and then it also creates a drum track. So it's essentially it's using the most basic border formula of all music that you can think of. Every song that you can ever think of has some combination of lows, mids, and drums or percussion, and then it has some variation of vocal, usually. Not necessarily always, but most songs that I can think of have some variation of that, right? Um, because that's what a song is made of. Essentially, those are the rough elements of a song. So, um, but like I said, so you're using these four tracks, and then you're having to go through the tracks, and you're having to EQ each one of them so that way it doesn't sound like garbage. Because here's the thing with locally installed AIs, it's way behind the stuff that's out there right now. Like if you go look at Udio or Sunos, you're going to see that their music generating AI is miles ahead of anything that's on the locally installed side. Um, if you're looking at like a step or anything like that on the local side, it's you really need to know about music in order to do anything with it because like when I was using it, the idea is basically I'm using it because I don't have a vocalist, right? Like I can't afford to go out and hire Mariah Carey for $6 million to sing a vocal track for a song that I'm making, right? Like that's not how this works. I don't have that kind of money. Uh, and then not only that, but I don't mess with record labels. So, uh, you know what I mean? Like even if I were to do that, it's like okay, I just pissed away $6 million to get Mariah Carey to sing a vocal track for me. Okay, well, now what? So uh, I'm just gonna post the song on my own as a nobody, and then nobody will ever hear it, and I'll never make my money back on it. Like that doesn't make any sense, right? So, um, that really that's what it comes down to is that's what this all exposes, and to a degree, and what's funny about it is I think Rick Beato is so. Uh, he's not coming at this from a perspective of somebody who's like uh, an indie musician or somebody who's um, you know fresh to music and they don't have the money, they don't have the income to go buy like 800 different plugins and like 600 different drum sets and 20 different guitars and 50 different pianos, right? Like I'm none of us are millionaires. Like when it comes to indie artists, none of us are millionaires, right? Maybe like 1% of all of us are have millions of dollars laying around. Usually that's because those people are trust fund babies, right? Like, we don't have millions of dollars to toss around on new instruments and plugins and everything else, right? Like, we don't have that money. So you're what you have to ask is what's more affordable, right? Like I said, it's the comparison, right? Like, if I make a song that fits perfect with Mariah Carey's voice, right? And the only person that could pull it off with that much range is Mariah Carey, right? Who has $6 million to throw at Mariah Carey to contract her to sing that track, right? None of us have that money. You're never going to find it. So then what ends up happening to that song? I just throw it in the trash can because there's nothing I can do with it. Well, today there is something I can do with it. I can use AI to have it sing and give me that same vocal range, and then have it sing the lyrics to whatever it is that I need to sing it to. And then I can add those vocals into my tracks, right? So that's the thing. You're effectively telling people, uh, well, I don't like your song because it's made with an instrument that costs $20 a month versus the $60,000 in instruments that I have laying around in my garage that I just never touch or do anything with. And oh, by the way, you're not allowed to play those because I bought all this stuff with my money, and too bad for you, right? So that's the problem that I see here is, I understand where Rick is coming from. Like, and this is the thing, I kind of agree. Like, I think if you use AI in a track, like, you know, okay, like maybe there should be something there, right? Like, obviously, there's a lot of people that are out there that abuse it. I see it all over the place. At the very beginning of this video, I even showed you something where, you know, there's all these people that are like, oh, this album artwork is so dope, right? And then the artist is there. He's like, yeah, it's so great, blah blah blah. I worked so hard on it. This album art that I just showed at the very 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 beginning of this video, that's AI. Like, I can make that on my computer here at home. There was no work done with that, right? So, and listen, I'm not here to like shame anybody. Like, I'm just saying, like, just be honest about it, right? Like, if somebody asks you, like, oh, where did the album art come from? Just tell them the fucking truth. Just say, hey, we used AI. Like, I can't afford to throw 10 grand at some artist so I can have rights to use the album art that I'm paying him for, right? Like, nobody does that. That's way too expensive. Like, even the industry doesn't do that. Like, if you look it within the music industry, like these record companies and stuff, they don't even do that. Like, they just have some dude that's probably getting paid like a little over minimum wage sitting around somewhere, and they're probably doing the same thing. They're probably like doing a mix of like actual art and then like running it through AI and pulling an album cover, right? Like, that's what they're doing. Like, if you think that these multi-million dollar artists are out there just pissing their money away willy-nilly on, silly things that they could just pay $20 and have done in a few seconds, I've got news for you. Like, they're not these big time artists at record companies are not making the music that you think that they're making. These guys are using half the time they're using samples stolen from other people, and they're not even giving credit for those samples. So, um, I mean, how many years has everybody you know sung the praises of Daft Punk over and over and over again about you know their music, and then you go back and you look at their music and find out, oh, by the way, this song is actually a sample of another song called Soda Bottle Baby that nobody knows about. Nobody's ever credited these people. And when you go look at the tracks online and you go look at the credits, you see that the original song that these samples were taken from were never credited. Like they were just straight up plagiarized and ripped and turned into music, right? So I just think it's ironic. Like you can't come out and lecture me on stolen music when the entire industry has been here stealing music since its inception, since the very beginning, and everybody's been clapping and cheering for it since the beginning of time. And then now we're all supposed to be concerned, right? That the $1 billion artist, their music is being stolen and used in AI. Well, sorry, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's the problem. I just don't care, right? Like, I think it's such an insignificant thing to even have to think about anymore. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be uh, lectured on virtue by some of the worst people who've ever set foot on this planet, right? Like there's people in the music industry that have been to Epstein's Island, right? Like you don't get to lecture me about virtue, okay? Like that's not how any of this works. So the thing that I'm ultimately getting to at the end of the day is I really don't care about the complaints of people that have already made their money. Like to me, you're just squawking and crying and coping because you're upset that other people are out there trying to make it too, and you just don't want them to use the same ladders that you've had the privilege of using for the last 40 years, right? Like that's really what this comes down to. It's a ridiculous argument, and ultimately at the end of the day I just simply disagree with it because when you analyze it with any train of logic it just doesn't make any sense, right? Now with all of that said, like I said, I don't want people going out there and abusing AI and then just using it to drop like 600 musical tracks every single day and clog up the system. You know what I mean? Like I think that's ridiculous. Like no. um you know People should be allowed to upload whatever kind of music they want to upload. But I do think maybe we need a system where, maybe you leave a tag on your song and it say like, well, yeah, I did use some AI in it or whatever, like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. Um, I just I don't think the answer is kowtowing to a $1 billion industry that is thoroughly corrupt and will find any reason that it possibly can to like not pay indie artists, you know, mostly because they're subsidizing their own record labels, but and obviously they can't afford to give indie artists any money, right? Because, you know, uh they spend it all on their own record labels or whatever, right? So, but that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day is most of this engagement that you're seeing out there, even from like the big wigs, um, it's all just fake. It's fake. There's nothing real or organic about any of it. It's fake. And then what they're doing is they're using your ego and they're being like, well, I have 30 million subscribers, so why you're a loser if you're not subscribed to me, and then that's how they pull you in, right? That's how everybody gets pulled in. I mean, look at Elon Musk. He literally had to buy like an entire social media platform just to get people to follow him. Um, you know, that's basically what it is. And that's part. And I guarantee you, that's his marketing budget right there, because that's the next time a new Cybertruck comes out. Man, he's already got 200 million people subscribed to him. So, everybody's going to be buying that new Cybertruck 2 or whatever, that comes out. So it's all part of the game. And if you're pretending like somehow the $1 billion record industry out there is suffering and hurting, well, A, I don't believe you, and B, if that were the truth, then good. I mean, they kind of deserve it. They've been ripping everybody off and existing at everybody else's expense for, I don't know, the last 50 years. So I don't even know of a reason why record labels need to exist anymore, to be honest with you. I haven't seen them do anything whatsoever other than, flood artists with botted accounts. Like that's literally what they do. That and then take a cut of everything that you make. So um, ultimately, at the end of the day, like they're just more or less kind of a parasite. They're not. They don't really need to be around anymore. So like studios, like the big studios, like uh, UMG, Universal Music Group, Sony, you know, all the stuff that they've patented and copywritten and everything else, like they need to go too. Like we need to start opening everything back up again, so that way indie artists don't have to operate uh, like in this weird veil where they're constantly afraid of getting sued because they used a soundbite from, you know, something that, was probably sampled by UMG and Sony from some other person who was never credited for that. You know what I mean? I don't understand how you can own a sample of a song or a sound that you literally had nothing to do with. Like, if you've never touched a keyboard in your life and you own that specific sound, I have questions. And I think like that's how it is. Like I think we need to question this a bit more. Like obviously the system, the copyright system, the patent system in general is not working as intended, and all it's being used for now is like as a gatekeeping mechanism to keep people from being able to succeed. That's really what this is all rolling down to. So, anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. I don't want to go on too long. I'm gonna save the rest of what I have, which is there's another video I want to discuss, which is from Venus Theory. Actually, he's a really good YouTuber, and he makes a lot of really cool things, a lot of really nice plugins. Great music. Matter of fact, I think he did the musical soundtrack to, was it Avowed? I think it was Avowed. I know it was a game that didn't do too well, but um, regardless, I mean the music was actually really good. So, um, but I'm gonna save this one and finish that video up. I want to talk about that one. That one's more subject matter between like um, I guess because there's a lot of musicians that are out there that feel, I guess, disenfranchised because AI music can make better music than they can make, so they feel like they've already been defeated out the gate. And I want to discuss that too because I think it's important for people to understand that um, you know the just because that exists doesn't mean that you can't also participate as well. And there's a little bit of a game plan that I'm trying to come up with in terms of like maybe helping artists in a way to succeed. Maybe giving them like a shout out or like a hand up. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's something that we can do here on the channel. Like I can go find like awesome bands and stuff that have like a small following and give them a shout out or whatever. So um, you know, but if that's something that interests you, I guess let me know. Um, you know, maybe talk about it down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about that, and maybe leave a like on the video, letting me know, if it's a good idea or not. And maybe we can kind of turn the music industry around and get rid of the record labels. And I mean, this has been it's been a problem for so long, and now I think it's finally hitting a boiling point where the music industry is such a burden that it's holding everything down, and it's making it almost impossible for any new artists to come up. So or at least artists that don't use like some sort of like nefarious tactic to like get above everybody or whatever. There's so many people. I mean, you really have to think about the irony of this, right? Like, I mean, Daft Punk, a band that's stealing music from other bands, that's um, over here doing an entire track set where they're lecturing us about the evil record label that is, you know, they're coming in and they're stealing all our money and blah blah blah, and like all this stuff that we're supposed to feel bad about, and then ironically they're the ones that are doing all of the same stuff. You know what I mean? Like, like, they hate the record industry, but they are the record industry. They are that. You know what I mean? So, uh, you know, I just think it's ironic that they're trying to sell us a story of morality about record labels, and yet here they are doing the same, if not worse. You know what I mean? So, you know, but like I said, so maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll find another way, another route. Maybe we'll do our own thing, and we can help out some indie artists on the channel. I don't know, whatever. So, anyways, I guess just hit me up in the comments and let me know what you think. So, but we'll keep moving on, and I'm going to save that video, like I said, for next time, and we'll talk about that. And that way, it's not. I don't want to do like a 3 hour long rant on all the music stuff all at once. So, and most of you guys don't even watch this stuff anyway. So, like I'll get like 10 people that'll watch this video probably, which hey, thank you, right? Like I appreciate it. So, but yeah, so anyways, I'll catch you on the next video. If y'all could leave a like and comment and, I don't know, whatever, and then we'll see what we can do. So, all right. Thank you.